pay close attention, this one doesn't add up. One detail breaks everything. See if you can catch it before the end. On a rainy Tuesday evening, a small gold box was stolen from his study. The cabinet was locked. The key was missing. The theft was discovered at 8:15 p.m. Mr. Ashworth said he locked the cabinet at 7:30 p.m. and kept the only key in his jacket pocket. He wore that jacket the entire time, until he stepped out for the phone call. 3 people were in the house. Mr. Ashworth, the owner. He said after locking the cabinet, he went to the drawing room at 7:35. He stayed with his guests until 7:50, then left to take a phone call in the hallway. He was gone for 5 minutes. He left his jacket on the chair when he stepped out to take the call. A servant saw him at 7:52 p.m. When he returned, both guests were seated. They stayed together until 8:15, when he went back to the study and found the box missing. He also mentioned something small. His jacket had a red wine stain on the left cuff from the night before. Mr. Hollis, the guest. He said he arrived at 7:30 p.m. He sat in a chair facing the doorway and never left his seat. He saw Mrs. Bell stand once to tend the fire, but otherwise she stayed seated. From where he sat, he could see the hallway through the open door. He said he was busy reading and didn't notice anyone clearly leave the room while Mr. Ashworth was away. He also mentioned his shoes were dry despite the rain. He was dropped off under a covered entrance. Mrs. Bell, the guest. She said she also arrived at 7:30 p.m. She sat in the chair closest to the doorway, which was very far from where Mr. Hollis sat. She confirmed Mr. Ashworth left for a phone call. She said she stayed seated at first, then stood up to add a log to the fire. She returned to her chair and stayed there. She also mentioned something specific. She had a damp handkerchief, which she placed the handkerchief in her lap while sitting. When she stood up, it was still there. But when she sat back down, it was gone. The investigator noted a few things. The cabinet had no signs of force. It could only be opened with a key. And there was only one key. Mr. Ashworth kept it in the inner pocket of his jacket. He wore that jacket the entire time, except for the 5 minutes he left the room. The drawing room was searched. The handkerchief was not there. One of them is lying. Can you spot it? You have 5 seconds. It was Mrs. Bell. Here's why. She said she stayed in her seat the entire time. And she kept the handkerchief in her lap. But the handkerchief disappeared and was not found in that room. That means she must have moved. And if she moved, she left her seat, and likely the room. But she clearly said she never did. That's the contradiction. And that's how we know she's lying. And when one detail breaks, the whole story falls apart.